Next up we have Mr. SUnwOo from the boyz, who I see a lot of the boyz stans calling the best rapper of 4th generation. And not really, but like, we appreciate the suggestion. SUnwOo raps fast a lot. And a lot of people equate this to being a good rapper. But if you actually listen to him while he's rapping really quickly, he tends to lose his flow most of the time.
Before I get into the proof and rebuttal I have for SUnwOo here, just want to make sure you guys all know to not send hate. Feel free to go check out the original video to see what their other rankings are. It's just SUnwOo stood out to me the most, being so low at number 21 out of 4th gen boy group rappers. It was crazy to me. I wanted to make a video on this, but do not send any insults, hate. Even if you love SUnwOo more than yourself, you do not send ill will towards the person who made this video, no matter how much you disagree with them. And if you do that, you're not representative of SUnwOo, the boyz, or my community. Please think about your actions before you do something that you will regret one day. But with that being said, let me dive into this, and you can see on the screen right here, we have their criteria they use to grade these rappers. I just need to go over this real quick before we get into my rebuttal for SUnwOo as well. They use flow, delivery, dynamism, and lyrics to tally up how good a rapper is for their objective ranking. And I have a few qualms with this before we even dive into this. First off, dynamism I've never even heard of. If you look that up on Google, it's not a thing, especially for rap. You do you, but it's just delivery. It's a section of delivery, and that's all it is. What they should have added in here is rhyme scheme, because we're going to talk a lot about SUnwOo's rhyme scheme today, because he is, if not the best, second or top 3 in all of 4th gen in terms of rhyme scheme, only behind Han Ji-sung and maybe So-yeon or maybe one other. He is one of the best rhyme scheme writers in K-pop. They did not even mention that. They did not factor rhyme scheme in at all, because this lyrical section isn't about how good the lyrics are, it's about how much of the stuff that they write themselves, which again shouldn't matter if the lyrics are bad. It doesn't matter if you write all your lyrics. But I digress. That's not the point of this video. We're going to be focusing on flow mainly, and then a bit of rhyme scheme later on, which they don't even mention, because I just want to rub it in a little bit about how good SUnwOo is at writing these rhyme schemes and coming up with these rhyme schemes better than most other 4th gen rappers out there, on par with Minho and Zico from 3rd gen. So let's dive into this.
한계를 걷어 fading fog 한계를 벗어 now we go 우린 포기는 거미를 도움도 안 되니까 breaking dawn 한계를 걷어 fading fog 한계를 벗어 now we go 우린 포기는 거미를 도움도 안 되니까 breaking dawn
I hope you all enjoyed that little game. Tell me know how you did. Did you see through that little trick question? OP didn't. OP got that wrong and said that it was at the end of the 2 bars right there that SUnwOo messed up. But luckily for you guys, flow is my favorite part of rapping, and I'm able to actually transcribe the flows out on a music sheet, as you can see here. However, the strange thing is, OP isn't claiming that SUnwOo was offbeat, like you would hear for So-yeon or Changbin many times from people who don't know what they're talking about. Instead, OP is claiming that the original written notation that SUnwOo did was unintentional, and he went for something too complex and couldn't keep up with it. I'll read this real quick. Here's what OP said in a comment referring when someone asked for clarification. Here's what they said.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
At that part, I meant the flow was off. Basically, I'm trying to say that the established flow doesn't match up or sync well with the beat. There are times when intentionally diverging from the beat works and adds interest to a verse, but I don't think it does on this occasion. And I don't think SUnwOo is trying to do that intentionally either. It doesn't really have anything to do with rapping live or not. When I say the rapper lost their flow, I just meant that they had a solid or complex flow and it deteriorated throughout a verse or bar. Well, in that case, let's play the flow exactly how he wrote it in Breaking Dawn and see what it sounds like. So here you go. enough fooling around and me being kind of snarky about this. SUnwOo doesn't do anything wrong here, doesn't make any mistakes at all. If you look at this in the first part that you just heard, it's 2 bars. So in the first bar you just heard where I have the lyrics on there, I put the lyrics on to show you that the lyrics kind of dictate this to be a every other note he's hitting a downbeat. Basically what I'm trying to say is that the OP hears this first bar, which they think is fine, because he's going along with the downbeat of the song. And that goes very hand in hand with the beat. It's not complex by any means. It's a very simple flow, and it goes hand in hand with the beat. But where the OP is getting messed up is they think he's going for a complex flow in the first half, and then it just kind of deteriorates in the second. But the thing is, the complex part's the second half. It's the difference between the second bar to the first bar. The second bar, he has a dotted 8th note cadence. Why is he doing that? Because it fits better with the lyrics he's using here. I didn't write them out here because it gets too jumbled up and everything for my point. My point is, the rhymes are lining up about he wants it to be every 3rd syllable or so is a rhyme. However, if he just keeps going with the same flow, it's going to be extremely boring. This is how he develops the flow. It's how he continues to move the verse along without it feeling stagnant and boring like a stereotypical K-pop rap that most people say aren't needed in a song. This is an actual really good way to continue to change it up. He goes from 8th notes to dotted 8th note cadence, keeping roughly the same flow under it, just a bit more spacious in the second half. And that is why it feels off for you, because he's using space more than in the first half. The first half is much faster. The second bar is much more spaced out. And the last thing I want to point out here is he sets himself up for this perfectly. He does this on purpose, and you know it's intentional compared to what OP said, because look at where go is. The final word of the first bar is on the downbeat of the next bar. He set himself up to be able to change the flow. He went over the bar with the first line to set up this rhyme scheme to hit every 3rd beat of the cadence. That's the intention behind it. It's not the most complex thing in the world, but it's certainly development and much better than most, baseline K-pop rapping is. Which is how I'm like, how was he 21st? Because a lot of people above him haven't done anything near to the degree that he's doing here in this flow. And I needed to point out breaking down, because they did point out a few other flows that you can go watch in the original video. Mainly live stuff on Kingdom, and I couldn't tell if they were talking about the timing being offbeat or the same thing here. But basically, I don't know why they showed this as an example. It is a perfectly more complex flow than anyone above him has done. A more difficult flow than most people above him have done, and he executed it flawlessly of what he was trying to do. You just don't comprehend the more complex nature to it, which is fine, but you can't say he messed up or did it unintentionally when he clearly put the final syllable of the first bar on the second bar to set up the change of flow.
Then lastly, we have probably the most forgotten component in K-pop rap, which is writing. Main rappers who don't write at all will get a 0, and the rappers who write every one of their verses will get a 10. I see a lot of K-pop rapper ranking videos that only rank rappers by their words per second or whatever, which is fine for fun, I guess, but that really isn't what rap is about. I think it's kind of silly to objectively rank rappers like that.
I just wanted to point all that out because the one thing they aren't mentioning is rhyme scheme, and that is probably the strongest aspect of SUnwOo, and he got completely disadvantaged the second they decided to not include rhyme scheme writing in here. And I have the perfect example. It's actually a song that dropped just last week with their comeback. So the OP couldn't possibly have known about this one, but I have to use it because it perfectly encapsulates just how amazing of a rhyme scheme writer SUnwOo is. Let's first listen to it together. I have the flow written out here as well, and this is honestly an even better flow than Breaking Dawn, but we're not talking about the flow here. I think we can all recognize this is really good. He's basically mixing diddles with 16th runs and throwing a different feel each time onto the diddles and 16th runs to mix it up throughout the verse and develop it, but let's give this a listen. So yeah, that is pretty insane flow, and if you were listening to the lyrics, you can really hear the rhyming going on, where it just sounds like he's saying the same sound over and over again. Like if I was doing a tongue twister, like silly Sally sat on the seashore selling shells. Like, you know, those like tongue twisters? It really sounds like he's doing that. Why? Because of this rhyme scheme. Look at this. Now, if you take the first 2 bars, they're more of a setup thing with the concentrated more on the flow and everything to set up the last 4 bars. And look at this. Now, if you would know Korean and know how it looks, like, you're going to look at the pink and even the yellow and the blue and be like, wait, they don't rhyme. Because the first one looks like it's A into gol, go, go. What? How does that rhyme? It's alliteration. SUnwOo, other than maybe Han Ji-sung that I mentioned earlier, he is the first rapper to concentrate an entire rhyme scheme on alliterations. If you don't know what an alliteration is, it's basically the rhyming the beginning of the word instead of the end. I know we're all used to listening to the rap, and then the rhyme comes at the very end of the bar, and it like rhymes with the next bar at the very end, and that's how basic rap is set up. Like, you could take it a step deeper and do sub-rhymes inside of the bar, and SUnwOo takes it a step further than that and does sub-rhymes of alliterations. He's rhyming the beginning of the word. If you check this out, listen to it. The first one is ge, girl, gok, go. Then he changes it because he needs to, make a real word. And then he goes right back, go. What? And then he continues to do it with a or, and then he has the s, sh, s sound, and that's the yellow one. And then just a small little b in there that just rhymes once, but it's like a full like bur, bub, bur. It's like a 3 like little thing. Anyways, I think that was cool. But listen to this again while looking at the rhyme scheme. Follow along with your eyes if you can, and look at how many times he's rhyming the beginning of some of these words, and even like the middle of some of these words with each other. Is that not crazy? Do you think most of the people above him on that list can do that? I genuinely only think Han Ji-sung has the capabilities of writing to this, of 4th gen, writing to this capability already. Like, obviously, Minho's done stuff like this in his solos. There's a lot of established 3rd and 2nd gen rappers who have done rhyme schemes, and especially K-hip-hop rappers. This is like standard for K-hip-hop, some of the stuff that they do, but this is like genuine, impressive writing that wasn't even considered for this ranking, and I just need to point that out. So if anyone got the idea that SUnwOo's not a good rapper for whatever reason, this alone, the fact that he wrote this, executed it, and put it on a complex flow says everything I need to know about him. He is top 6 at least of 4th gen boy group rappers.
Like, honestly, I'm just a dumbass K-tuber who doesn't know shit about anything. Like, I tried to do the best research I could, but also, I'm really stupid and there's still probably a lot that I'm missing. Feel free to disagree with me respectfully in the comments, because the whole point of this video is to start a conversation about rap and K-pop.
Well, hey, with that, I gotta say, if you're watching this, you are at the perfect place. My entire channel is just focused on K-pop rap and having conversations in this, so please, I do invite you, no ill will, I invite you to make a response video to this. Share your rebuttal. I'm curious if this changes your mind at all. But yeah, and on the screen right now, guys, thank you all for watching. If you're seeing this right now, these are my Patreons. I could not make content like this because this is probably going to be copyrighted since I use the boys content in there. I couldn't be making videos like this and taking the time to put all the work into this like I do without them. So thank you all so much if you see all their names, and I couldn't be more appreciative for them. And if you want to join us, the link is in the description below. You get reactions to stuff like the boys, you get a bunch of album reviews and special access to like my series next month, K-pop Madness, if you're interested. Or if not, if you don't have the means to do so, just come join our community. The Discord link is in the description, and we'd love to have you be a part of our Discord, the CarKpop Discord. We're almost at 1,000 members, which is crazy to me, but yeah, thank you all for joining. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I put a lot of effort into this one, so if you're still watching, feel free to subscribe as well, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.